I still remember the sound from that night, the soft clink of glasses tapping together, almost like tiny hammers tapping straight against my ribs. It's strange how something so small can echo so loudly when your world tilts. Dad's voice sliced through the room, sharp and polished, like he had been rehearsing it in the car. He stood there as if the whole restaurant were his own private stage. "Working in pajamas isn't a career," he announced loudly, proud and performative. The table exploded with laughter on cue, the kind of laughter that feels practiced, not earned. Even my own grandmother hid her smirk behind her wine glass as if she couldn't help herself. I didn't argue, didn't defend, didn't even blink. I simply pushed back my chair, slowly and gently, like I didn't want to break anything except the moment, and then I walked out while their laughter followed behind me like smoke in the wind. That was the moment something old inside me cracked, and something sharper, stronger, finally woke up. Dad hadn't always been the enemy in my story. When I was younger, I chased his approval like sunlight. He used to take me fishing at dawn, the air cold and quiet, and he'd tell me things like, "Look a man in the eye, don't hide who you are." Back then, I believed every word he said, but I grew older. I found a passion for building things online, creating something from nothing with late nights and quiet focus. I built a remote business from scratch slowly, privately, relentlessly, while Dad dismissed it from the very first day. "Real men work with their hands," he huffed, "not with whatever that laptop nonsense is." At first, his words irritated me. Then they exhausted me. And eventually, they stopped surprising me. But that night, the night he mocked me publicly, loudly, intentionally, that was the first time it truly hurt. Because the laughter wasn't harmless. It was a clean, deliberate betrayal. Looking back, the signs had always been there. The way he tensed when I mentioned new clients. The tight smile when I said business was good. The congratulations that sounded like insults wearing suits. But I didn't understand the full picture until 2 days later when my uncle called. Dad's construction company, his pride, his identity, his whole sense of worth was falling apart. Mismanaged loans, delayed projects, crumbling deadlines, a sinking ship covered with loud confidence and quiet fear. And suddenly everything made sense. Dad wasn't laughing at me. He was drowning, and I was the closest thing to a life raft he could insult. After that call, I just sat in silence. No anger, no pity, just clarity. For the first time, I saw him not as a father, but as a man cornered by his own stubbornness. The plan wasn't born from revenge, not at first. It came from the very thing he taught me on those fishing mornings. Watch the water. Move only when you're ready. So I moved quietly, not to brag, not to gloat, just to prepare. I studied market reports. I followed the money trail. I bought a portion of his company's debt from a lender desperate to get rid of it. I secured a supplier contract he depended on under my company's name, not mine. No yelling, no threats, just precise, quiet action. Every step tightened the net, not to crush him, but to force a reckoning he had avoided for years. By the end of the second week, my position was locked in. He didn't know it yet, but the storm above his head was one I had built brick by brick. Then came the knock. Light, hesitant, almost fragile. Dad had never knocked gently on anything in his life. When I opened the door, he looked smaller than I'd ever seen him. His shirt was wrinkled, shaven even, eyes tired in a way that made him seem older. "Can we talk?" he asked. I stepped aside. He walked into my living room like he was entering a stranger's house. Maybe he'd never visited before. "I'm in some trouble," he finally said. Then the truth spilled out. The loans, the failing projects, the contracts slipping away. His voice cracked once, just once, but he swallowed it fast. "I need help," he said. "A partner, a solution, something." When his eyes met mine, for the first time in my life, he wasn't looking down at me. He was looking up. I let the silence stretch so long he thought I was debating. Then I slid the folder across the table. Every acquisition, every contract, every lifeline he needed, all under my name. His face drained. Not with fury, with understanding. "You?" he whispered. I nodded, calm as still water. "This is what Pajama's built," I said. He sank into the couch, hands trembling slightly, the weight of years of pride collapsing on his shoulders. I'm not here to destroy you, I told him quietly, but I won't rescue the version of you that mocked me. If you want help, then you face what you did. He didn't speak for a long time, but in the end, he picked up the pen and signed the partnership papers, handing me controlling interest in the company he once swore I'd never understand. That was months ago. The business is steady now, leaner, smarter, finally breathing again. Dad still works there, but he reports to me. We don't talk much during the day. He avoids looking at me the way a soldier avoids meeting the eyes of the medic who pulled him from the fire, but sometimes I catch him watching, not with resentment, but with a respect he never once gave me before. Funny how silence mixed with precision can do what shouting never could. Some people grow through wisdom, others only grow when consequences teach what pride refuses to learn. Dad needed both, and I finally gave them to him.